everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Shayla and I'm so glad that you stumbled upon today's video. Today's video is going to be a Q&A, and I would say this is definitely more of a personal Q&A. I feel like the Lord put me here on earth to be a big sister to those of you who want/need a big sister. Speaking of my sisters, the first question I am going to answer is, what was it like living with 3 sisters? And let me tell you, all those hormones and girls under one roof was definitely crazy. There was definitely fights, mainly about clothes and boys, whether or not we should be with the boy we were dating or whatever. That's kind of what it was like. Sometimes I miss that craziness, that loudness, and I know when I go back for holidays and those kind of things, I get really excited because I get to experience that again. So it was really fun, but also, you know, there's gonna be fights. I feel like that's with any sibling. The next question that I got was career goals, question mark. This is a great question because I thought that I wanted one thing and I just feel like I don't want that anymore. I feel like that's not what God wants me to do anymore. So initially I wanted to own my own marketing business, like my own marketing company, and work with social media, website design, graphic design, all that fun stuff. But I just came to the realization that it's just, I'm not passionate about it. So I've been praying about it. I'm not quite sure what I want career-wise or hobby-wise, or I don't really know. I'm still figuring out myself, and especially myself in marriage. It's definitely different. Wyatt has his career. He studied in school in order to be what he is in his career. So I just think it's so different, but I'm definitely always thinking about it. I love creating YouTube videos. I love making content. I love being creative. So maybe something along those lines, but we'll see. This next question I debated on answering, but I'm going to. It's quite juicy. No, but it's quite personal. But I just, like I said earlier, I want to be that big sister and give sisterly advice. So the question is, maybe too personal, dash, when did you start taking birth control? Any negative side effects, question mark. So I was not on birth control at all. I decided to go on birth control 1 year from our wedding date, when we were engaged, because I heard that you gain weight, and I heard that your skin goes terrible, and I heard that, this is so TMI, but I just heard like you spot, and I didn't want, you know, me to take it just a few months before my wedding, and then we get to the wedding day and, you know, I feel bloated and my skin's a disaster and I'm spotting. I didn't want any of that for my wedding or my honeymoon. So I just decided to go on it a year in advance so that way it'd regulate in my body. That's just kind of like what I thought was the right thing to do. Yes, so many negative side effects. Everything I just said, definitely negative. But my OB told me that it's so different from girl to girl. Like, you can't just prescribe this one birth control and it's gonna work perfectly for all the girls. I know if this is a controversial topic in general, but to answer your question, there's gonna be side effects, just like when you take any medication. But I definitely would talk to your doctor and see what's best for you. Next question is, does length of engagement really matter? What did you do? Wyatt and I got engaged December of 2018. December 23rd. It was 2 days before Christmas, and we were in New York. If you don't know of our engagement story, I actually had no idea. It was a total surprise to me. So I vlogged the whole week of being in New York with my family, and then the last night Wyatt surprised me and ended up showing up. It was supposed to be just a trip with my dad and all my sisters. My parents had recently gone through a divorce. It was a great time for daughter-father bonding. I didn't think anything of it. I had no idea, nor did I expect for him to show up. So I vlogged it. I'll link it down below if you want to take a look at it. But we decided to wait a year and a month for engagement. If you guys also don't know, if you're new here, and if you're not new here, I'm sorry. I know you hear this all the time, but I just feel like I need to make this disclaimer for it to make sense. If you didn't know, Wyatt and I waited to have sex until we were married. We waited to move in with each other until we got married and all of that. So it was definitely super exciting for my wedding day to come because there were so many chapters of a book that I hadn't opened yet. and starting my life with him. So it was definitely so exciting. And if you're debating on waiting until marriage, I definitely would do it. It's just the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, hands down. Well, besides choosing Jesus. But second one, waited a year and a month. I thought that I was gonna take longer to plan a wedding because I had never planned a wedding before. I didn't really know what it entailed. So I figured that'd be a good length of time. Also, I wanted to get married in the winter, fall, winter, because here in Texas, it is so flipping hot. And I did not want a wedding in the summer. Like, that was like my biggest thing, like no wedding in the summer. And since I got married in December, oh my gosh, since I got engaged in December, I would have had to wait till October, November, December anyways. And then the first available winter, fall date available at the venue I wanted was January 4th. So I took it and we got married on January 4th and it was the best day ever. Length of engagement does not really matter in my opinion, but you have to check with your venue first to see what dates are available. Because if you're like, I'm getting married October 15th, that's the date I'm getting married. What is? Well, you have to check with your venue and see if the venue that you want is open on that day. Brides schedule their weddings years in advance. Some people even book the venue before they're even engaged. So keep that in mind when you're looking for venues. Don't be set on a date. And if you are, make sure you're asking around to other venues if they have that date available. Kind of piggybacking off of that, I got another question about wedding stuff. If you were a 2020 bride, how would you be handling your wedding planning? And this is a good question. So if you didn't know, also, I work in the catering industry. We mainly do weddings. So I'm very familiar with, you know, the wedding industry and how to plan a wedding in general. I'm very familiarized with that. I've been in the wedding industry for over a year now. And if I were a bride that my wedding is in 2020, well, it was, but I just missed it. I'm so lucky. But say it was, you know, this summer, I would definitely get married, but I wouldn't have a wedding. And this is my opinion only because I know how difficult it is and I know how you brides, like, you want the wedding of your dreams, and I had it. So you know, it's hard to hear that coming from my mouth, but I would get married, but I would save the money for the wedding that I was gonna have and take a incredible honeymoon or put it on a down payment on a house. I would take that money and I would definitely save it because, number one, it's just not very intimate with all these masks and with all these restrictions. I mean, it's just, you're thinking about that the whole time, and there's pictures of everybody with masks on. Or you could get married and wait until next year to have your party or your reception. Since I work weddings every weekend, I see it over and over again. It's just people with masks and everyone's spread it out and no one can even sit next to each other at the dinner tables, and like dancing has to be regulated. Some venues don't even allow dancing right now. So it's just kind of like, what is the point of spending all this money to have all these restrictions, like no dancing? Next question and last question, because I'm looking at the time of this Q&A and I'm like, oh my gosh. Is it ever a burden to be the oldest of 4 sisters? Yes. No, I'm kidding. It's never a burden. I feel like the Lord puts you in the order that he wants you to be in for a reason. So I definitely like love being the oldest and being able to be that role model for my sisters. However, they didn't get the strict rules that I got. It's not fair. Growing up, I had very strict rules, like curfew times. I had to be a certain age to get a cell phone. I had to earn my minutes for texting. I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm like dating myself right now. And I had to make honor roll it was like, I was under these really strict rules. And Emma and Skyla, not really McKenna, but Emma and Skyla basically get away with anything, and it's not fair. That's the only thing that I'm a little bitter about. I wouldn't say it's a burden though, because I think I turned out all right. It would be nice to have an older sister to chat with, to get advice from, but you know, I feel like the Lord definitely guides me and leads me in the right direction. Okay guys, that is gonna be it for my Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a comment and please hit that subscribe button. I really wanna get to 10K. I know that's stretching it, but you know what? I'm gonna put it out there. I wanna get to 10K. It's my ultimate goal. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.